Are you ready to add value to your grid drawing? Right now we have all of the grid laid out for us from A to E and 1 to 5, and all of our lines drawn from each box of our grid. But now it's time to add value. I want you to really focus. We're going back to each individual box, and we're going to focus on what the darkness and lightness of something is, or what the value is. Again, let's write it out. Value. Value. So here, I drew out where the dark would be and where the light will be. And in this area, there's darkness. So I'm going to use my pencil to shade that dark area in. And of course, this is just my first layer of my darkness. I'm going to go in deeper and add blending. So right now, I'm going sideways with my pencil to add that shadow, and going right back in to make it smoother. Remember to take your time and really focus on each individual area so that you make sure you get that reference picture to show up on your paper. And so this is just a very light layer that I did, and now I will be darkening, maybe going the other direction. And if you know other coloring techniques like hatching, cross-hatching, stippling, you should use those. That would be really cool and add a new extra flair of purpose and of style to your artwork that people would love to see. And there are some transitional areas where it's like blended. So I'm gonna go in with my pencil and maybe do some scumbling where I create that effect using my pencil. There's a texture happening right here in this corner, and I'm going to try to get that texture on my drawing too, using value. Maybe I'll use my eraser to make it even lighter than what's behind it. And you could either use your finger to blend, or maybe you use a piece of paper to blend. And then you just keep going back and forth until you get exactly what you see in that box on your paper. Trying to get that as close as possible. And hey, maybe you record your progress too. Of course, you can always go back to a box if you get sick of one, and then add more and more darkness or lightness to it to get it just the way you want it. I'm getting tired of A, and there's not much I want to do anymore there. So I'm going to move on to B1. And I drew that area because that's pretty light on that picture here. And then it's like a mid-tone, so I'm going to do the same thing again, filling that in pretty lightly. And then I go from light to dark so that it's easier for me to erase. And again, when I'm drawing lightly, I'm holding my pencil very far back, and I almost hold my pencil like I hold a spoon, not like when I'm writing something really hard. This is how you write, but here is how you draw. Usually, but if you find a better way to hold a pencil that works for you, that's no problem. I'm just giving you the tips and tricks that I like to use. All right, so that's me going through every little box and focusing one by one on each square, what's inside of these. And now you have an almost identical pencil version of your reference image. You can always go back and clean things up, erase some more, draw some more. Maybe you see some of these lines. Maybe you can try erasing those and going back over to help you grab that illusion just a little bit more. I think that's all. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. And I hope you learned something new.